Well, I mean, so in the academic part, not the, okay. Well, I was actually, so this is, okay, so this is kind of the spirit of thing, you know, what I did a lot when I was an academic, or an undergraduate, is I was in the jazz ensemble at Ohio State. So, you know, I think a lot of things I remember are actually related to that. So I was the lead alto saxophone in the top jazz ensemble at Ohio State. I wouldn't say that jazz ensemble is as good as the one here, but it's sort of the same idea, but probably not quite the same caliber. I think most favorite, believe it or not, was like class. Well, it's kind of interesting. They're very similar topics, but I think they're like the most favorite was probably, I don't know, early on, because it kind of turned me on to doing physics, which was just classical mechanics. You know, the advanced, sort of more advanced classical mechanics. You know, I just thought it was beautiful how you could solve these complicated problems. And I know most people would sort of think of them as nightmare problems. It has to do with, like, you know, springs and weights and inclined planes, and, you know, you let this thing go, and how does it happen? But I found that all very fascinating. Mm-hmm. And then I think the least favorite was, I don't know if you guys have to take this I don't think you take this anymore, or maybe you do, but we called it statics. So there was a whole quarter class on statics, and I just found it mind-numbingly boring. That there was this whole class devoted to, you know, F equals 0. Well, actually, there are a lot of similarities between Ohio State and here. You know, public, land-grant, university, same kind of research focus in the faculty. You know, same, you know, striving excellence of the students. You know, yeah, I would, you know, give us a little edge on that over Ohio State, but still, you know, the best students at Ohio State were very, very talented people. And, you know, football team's a little more successful. But Cornell is a wonderful graduate school, right? It really has a real focus on the graduate program, and I wasn't in the undergraduate program there, but I think the real strength of a place like Cornell was this close-knit sort of graduate programs that. Yeah, and very high caliber people. So. Well, at one time I would have been a performing jazz musician, but I don't think my talent level reached the point where I would have starved. I mean, I would have starved, but you said it could be impractical. So, yeah. Well, I think it was probably, maybe it was much even after graduate school. It was really more about being more, presenting things more certainly. Okay, so don't be wishy-washy, I guess, about, I was sort of tending to maybe be a little too academic and kind of qualifying everything. And I received some advice at one point about yeah, well, I'm not really playing that much right now, so, but still listening to jazz, and I think maybe my other hobby is cycling, though I don't do a lot of long distance cycling. It's mostly commuting, but I really like it. So, I have about a 9-mile each way trip to work, and I do it most, 6 months of the year anyway, until the time changes and it gets too dark. By a zebra. We already have a horse, and I think, maybe a zebra would be a good company for the horse.
All right, and then the last...
And I already have to mow the pastures, and there's already fencing. Okay.
All right, movie.
What's it called? I'm blanking. It's one of those things that tip of your right tongue, and it's Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. It's Shakespeare in Love.
Ah, okay. TV show.
Glee.
Sport or team?
The Bears.
Restaurant, Urbana, Champagne.
Radio Maria.
Scientist.
Angstrom.
Book.
most recent one I really enjoyed, a checklist manifesto.
Food or drink?
Bread that I bake, and wine. Let's put that.
All right, and last but not least, your favorite material or molecule?
I think my ultra low thermal conductivity, tungsten diselenite.